We've had time to digest. We were able to see how he played. How did you think he played, Connor?
I was impressed with him, and it did leave you longing for more. And I think one of the big reasons for that was he only threw, what was it, 21 passes. We were just talking about it. I don't think that was his fault. I mean, this was probably the first time that I can remember, at least over the last 10 years, Jeane, where back was held back by the offense. There was the drop by Allen Lazard that could have extended the first drive. There was the fumble by Breece Hall that could have extended that one. The Garrett Wilson not being able to get his second foot there. I mean, there were a couple of bad throws from Aaron Rodgers. The interception wasn't great. He should have led Garrett Wilson on that 4th-and-1 slant, and Garrett's probably still running for that. But I think what you got a glimpse of on Monday night in San Francisco is what we've been telling you this guy is doing consistently in practice. That touchdown that he threw to Allen Lazard on the free play. I mean, that entire drive, by the way, Jeane, was orchestrated by Aaron Rodgers himself. It felt like he stepped back and was like, you know what, enough of this. We need a touchdown. We're going down there. He had guys going to you two left, one right. We're going tempo. We're moving down the field. Bing, bang, bang. It was amazing. And then the 12-play 70-yarder, the way he was connecting with Garrett Wilson so consistently on 3rd down, we knew there was going to be rust, Jeane. We knew that. There was too many new pieces on this offense, 3 new starters on the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers, Vera Tucker, they were coming back from season-ending injuries. There was so much there that was going to hold this team back early in the season. But what we saw was a glimpse of what this is going to be when they put it all together. And when they put it all together, this offense has the chance to be special because that is a very, very good offensive line. There are some very, very, very good receivers. And Allen Lazard, by the way, stepping up and playing well. That was a very welcome sight for the Jets. And Breece Hall will get going as well. I know it's a little disappointing because you couldn't see it in totality for 4 quarters, but you saw what they can do. They just need to knock some additional rust off.
And JJ, this is a 40-year-old guy coming off an Achilles injury. What did you think? I mean, again, he doesn't have to be the MVP Rodgers.
Well, that's the thing, Jeane. We're talking about a guy who didn't basically play an entire year of football. He's coming off a torn Achilles, and he's north of 40 years old. As far as when Aaron Rodgers has time to throw the football, Connor kind of hinted at it. He can sling it with the best of them. I mean, he was throwing back shoulders. The free play to Allen Lazard is brilliant. There's no doubting the acumen, the football intelligence, and the arm strength of Aaron Rodgers. That's all going to be there. That's all going to be a major asset. And from a standpoint of what the Jets have been working with at quarterback over the last few years, this is not a guy who's going to be holding the team back. Now, if I'm going to go glass half empty, Aaron Rodgers, when he was a Green Bay Packer, had way more mobility. Now, I don't know how much of that is the Achilles. I don't know how much of that is the rust factor or his age, but it didn't seem like Aaron Rodgers' gang had that same mobility, getting out, the naked bootlegs, making things happen with his legs. I don't think you're going to see that version of Aaron Rodgers, but that's okay. If you get quality offensive line play, if you run the football effectively, he has time to throw. He is going to be able to make things happen. And as far as his arm and as far as being able to read a defense, I don't have to worry about that. And the problem is, Jeane, Connor, you guys know this. You're around the Jets all the time. They've had plenty of quarterbacks over the last 9 years who have not been able to do those simple things. So it makes a world of difference.
Yeah, and JJ, you hit the nail right on the head there, is that he's not the Aaron Rodgers of old when it comes to mobility. And I think, honestly, more of that's probably age. Now, he's not Eli Manning in the pocket. He's not Kirk Cousins. He's not Joe Flacco. He can still get out of there. You saw it a little bit when he booted around. I think it was Bosa who ended up getting a hit on him. But he was able to escape the pocket and release a ball. I mean, he's not going to run like Mahomes does now or things like that. But he still has some mobility. My big concern coming out of this offense or this game, it had nothing to do with Rodgers. Breece, I genuinely believe he's going to get going. The offensive line, the receivers, I think they're going to be fine. When we talked about this team, Jeane, going into this season, and JJ, I truly, for the first time, maybe in 14 full years, I didn't see a glaring weakness on paper with the offense. Not at receiver. I mean, maybe wide receiver 2, but if wide receiver 2 is the biggest problem with this team, that's a very good problem to have. And even then, they had guys that they liked. Mike Williams, he's going to get healthy. Allen Lazard, you figure he's going to have a bounce-back year. Certainly did to start the year with Aaron Rodgers, but I liked a lot of those pieces. The issue and the concern that I had with the Jets, it was with Nathanial Hackett. That was my concern. And we talked about this a ton on SNY and at different points of the offseason. The Jets did make efforts, multiple efforts, to go out there and hire Arthur Smith to bring him into this organization where he would have been the lead voice in the offensive room. They weren't going to fire Nathanial Hackett, but Smith was going to be the point man, basically calling the shots. That told me that internally the Jets had some concerns, at least some minimal concerns with Nathanial Hackett, because if you were fine and loved everything and thought it was all hunky-dory, you're not trying to hire someone to fix the offense. What I saw in the opener against San Francisco, aside from when Rodgers took over with some of his brilliance and basically said, screw this, guys, we're going down the field, it was basic. It was run, pass. It was a lot of the same problems and concerns and issues that I had with the Jets last year. The only difference was now they had competence at quarterback. And I think that there was this feeling within the Jets building that Aaron Rodgers could fix a lot of the problems on offense. And I do believe that he will fix a lot of the problems on offense. But you can't, in the NFL, have a player also be the coach calling the offense, doing this. Those days just don't. And when Johnny Unitas was doing that, and Peyton Manning really early at portions of his career, that doesn't really exist anymore. It's a lot of pressure to put on one guy's plate. If there's one, make note of it, asterisk, because I had the issues before and I still have them now, it's that I don't necessarily know if the Jets are set up for long-term success at that coaching position with the offensive coordinator, because I don't fully trust Nathaniel Hackett yet, if I'm being honest with you. And after watching this game, I still have those same reservations. I still have those same concerns.